Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank our Lord for giving me this opportunity to inspire, motivate, and help students and aspiring seafarers by sharing you my knowledge and experience working in the hospitality, tourism, and cruising industry. I also would like to thank the LPU Manila College of International and Hospitality Management for inviting me as one of their keynote speaker for this event, Trabahong Mismo sa Turismo. Let me introduce myself. I am Rinell Banda, a seafarer in one of the most luxurious cruise ship navigating worldwide, named the World. It is a residential cruise ship that sets apart from the other cruise ships. The World operates like a condominium complex, which has a large cabins that can be only purchased by our residents, as we call them. I started my career on board the World as deck steward in bar department and moved in front office department as a bellman and got promoted as a bell captain. I also used to work as a waiter at Costa Cruises, an Italian cruise company, for 2 years and moved to other company at Grand Circle Cruise Line, MV Artemis as a waiter slash bartender. But before I joined the cruise industry, I worked in fast food chains like Dunkin' Donuts, Jollibee, and Carl's Jr. I also worked at Dusit Hotel, a 5-star hotel located in Makati City, as a banquet waiter. As you can see, my working experience evolves in the hospitality. Almost every day, I am communicating with customers, passengers, guests, and crew. Before I proceed to my topic, I would like to tackle first the big challenges that we face today in our hospitality industry, and that is COVID-19 pandemic. Our industry suffers more than others. In the cruise industry alone, the COVID-19 pandemic has devastated the cruise sector with widespread disruptions and cancellations affecting millions of passengers and people employed directly or indirectly through the cruise industry. Half of the estimated 100,000 Filipino seafarers rendered jobless by the complete grounding of about 250 cruise ships not be able to resume work. Aside from restaurants, culinary schools were also greatly affected by the pandemic. Teaching cooking is something that at some point would need presence. No matter how well you describe something verbally online, food must be tasted, smelled, even touched in order to fully experience and understand its intricacies. Big cruise ship companies scrapped or sold their cruise ships and sent thousands of crew members back home to help reduce costs and ride out of these difficult times. Although all of these are happening, the cruise companies never stop fighting. They continue to find alternative ways to survive these difficult times. They still continue hiring people in order to maintain the ship and preparing for the passengers to come back and sail with them. Vaccines are now introduced and they are now giving hope to everyone. Crew members are starting to come back and give light and hope to aspiring seafarers. I always said, habang may buhay, may pag-asa. Who would not love to travel the beautiful places around the world? Who would not be interested to travel while earning at the same time fulfilling one of your dreams to work in a cruise ship? Perhaps the promising salary, adventure, and career growth have been one of your top reasons why you want to work in a cruise ship? Well, I would like to help by giving you the information and ideas on how to apply and get hired by answering the frequently asked questions by a cruise ship applicant. First question is, do you need a working experience? Working experience. This is one of the top requirements for you to qualify as an applicant to work in a cruise ship. It doesn't matter if your experience is local or abroad. I would like to share you my story. I applied in one of the top shipping agencies in Manila, and I failed during the initial interview because I don't have any working experience. And so what I did, I applied as a waiter in a 5-star hotel at Dusit Thani. Then after a few years, I reapplied on the same agency. I passed the initial and final interview and I was hired instantly. For the fresh graduates who would like to work immediately in a cruise ship, don't lose hope. There's a company that hires even if you don't have any work experience. In one of my Buhay sa Cruise Ship blog, I interviewed a crew member who works at Royal Caribbean who happens to have no working experience but managed to join the company. But just a piece of advice, it is better to have a work experience so the chances of getting hired will increase its percentage. The second question is how to apply. A lot of applicants are asking me on how to apply. Well, in order for you to apply, you must prepare your detailed resume. This is an important document that summarizes your qualifications for a position you are applying for. Employers usually look at your photo and your qualifications. So make sure you have a nice presentable photo in business attire. The third question is, can I apply without any travel documents and training certificate and get hired? A recruiter may accept applicants without any travel documents and training certificates yet. This is a special case. For example, those applicants who gained an outstanding work experience and passed the interview can be hired. Then the recruiter will give a checklist of documents to the newly hired applicants in order for them to process the requirements needed. Commonly, recruiters prefer applicants who are travel ready and have earned maritime training certificates applicable for cruise ship workers. My recommendation is to get the basic travel documents like passport and seaman's book. The fourth question is, do you need a backer? You might hear from other people that you have to have a backer in order for you to get a job in a cruise ship. I will be honest, if you knew one recruiter whom at the same time a close friend, relative, or a colleague of yours, he can be the wind beneath your wings. He can be your backer. Meanwhile, if you think money is the solution, you can bribe the recruiter. But I won't recommend that. However, I would like to remind you that if you want to be successful, you must be willing to walk alone. If you want to be strong, you must learn how to fight alone. I also would like to add that legit shipping agencies do not collect any fees from their applicants. Our fifth and last question, is there any age limit? This is also one of the popular questions I receive from the aspiring seafarers. But in order for me to answer this question, I asked this personally to one of my friends from the recruitment in one of the shipping agencies. He told me that for the culinary people, you must be at least 55 years old and below. For the housekeeping and F&B, at least 40 years old. And for the entry-level positions, or if you are new to the company, you should be at least 35. This may be their standard of selecting their applicants because their principal requires it. But you should never lose your hope. Despite all of this, a lot of my well-known friends from the cruising industry get a job on a cruise ship, and one of them at the age of 44 years old as a first-timer. My personal advice, don't give up and never lose your hope. You may have come a long way in your quest to secure a job in the cruise industry, but the tides of bad luck swept you away from your port of success. You failed to pass the screening process, or the agency won't schedule you for an interview, or the security guard won't entertain your resume. Then you feel hopeless and about to quit. Try to rest if you must, but don't you ever quit. One of my guests on my program, Buhay sa Cruise Ship, he was an OFW who works as a bartender in Saudi. And every time he finishes his contract, he always applied in the shipping agencies in Manila during his vacation. And for 5 years of applying, he finally got the job and started as a bar boy. And for 3 more years, he got his position back as a bartender. Do you see what a goal-driven applicant is willing to do? If any storm delays your trip, patiently wait until it's over. You can always sail again to reach your ultimate destination in life. Renew your hope and learn to stand up whenever you fall. Always ask the Lord for His guidance and believe in yourself. I hope you learned something new from my experiences, and I know dreams will come true in God's perfect time. I also would like to invite you to join my community, Buhay sa Cruise Ship, on Facebook, and visit my channel on YouTube. Thank you so much, and God bless to everyone.